Welcome to Podnutz Daily for August 11th, 2008. I don't need these on right now. Thank you for joining me late. I'm doing an 8 o'clock show tonight because I'm so swamped at the shop. I couldn't leave. I'm getting so much business. The momentum keeps growing. And it's a little stressful, actually, but in a good way because I got a lot of work. So I'm not doing anything different, really, to get the extra business. I think it's mostly just word of mouth. So I think if you do a good job, the word will spread and your business will do well because I'm doing the same amount of advertising I did when I started. And I'm trying to think if I changed anything. No, kept the same price so far and more business than I could deal with right now. And I think a lot of people say back to school. A lot of people, when they go back to school, we're going to have a lot more business. So I'll keep you posted on that. But it's going good over here. Okay, I can't complain about the amount of business, but I can complain about the business I'm getting. Okay, let me talk about the first thing that I want to talk about. I've got a Toshiba motherboard, Toshiba Laptop, and I'm just looking at the chat room. Okay, the Toshiba Laptop. Get this one, guys. This is just driving me nuts. I have 4 computers that are just driving me nuts. Toshiba Laptop, and it had a bad CD drive when it came in. So, replace the CD drive. Now, when I tried to boot Windows from the hard drive, it would get past like the Toshiba boot screen. It would attempt to boot Windows. It would blue screen real quick so you can't read it, and then reboot itself. So I'm trying to think because this has been going on for a couple days. What did I do after I got that? What did I do after we got that? Okay, first thing I did was I loaded up Knoppix and took all of her data off of her hard drive and that she wanted to save and put it into a safe location. Then, because she gave us the green light and she told us what data she wanted saved, we were going to do a system recovery. We had the recovery disks, so I went to do a system recovery. Started up the system recovery disks. Windows did all of its blue screen setup loading drivers, you know, where you do Windows setup, it loads those drivers, and then it goes to access the hard drive so you could work with the partitions and set the partitions. As soon as it was done loading all the drivers, and it's the little text at the bottom of the screen said, Windows, or setup is now attempting to start Windows, or Windows is now starting. I can't remember how it says it. The system would blue screen, and I get this error. Plug and Play has detected an error, most likely caused by a faulty driver. So that's Plug and Play has detected an error, most likely caused by a faulty driver. So I said, all right, something in the some piece of hardware here is causing this blue screen to happen. I thought it was probably something with the hard drive. I tried a different hard drive. Same problem at the same spot. As soon as you get past all the Windows drivers, and it goes to access to hard drive, same problem. So I said, all right, well, that's her recovery disk. Let me try a copy of Windows that I have just to see if I can get past that point. Same thing. When you start up Windows or set up Windows to install it, you get the blue screen. It loads all the drivers. It says, then it stops and says, Windows is now starting Windows, and we get a blue screen. And so then I tried my disk that had, no, wait, I didn't try with my disk with all the driver packs. It might be a mass storage device driver. Maybe it's a mass. I'm figuring it out as I'm speaking. Tomorrow I'm going to try my CD with the driver packs on it. It has all the drivers for the mass storage device. Now, it doesn't make any sense because the factory recovery CDs that came with this computer still did the same problem, and they have to have the correct drivers for that motherboard. Anyway, I took the wireless card out. I switched out the RAM, made sure the RAM wasn't the problem. Still the same problem. I tried a different hard drive, still the same problem. I basically took the whole motherboard out of the computer in case I figured maybe something was causing a short as the computer was sitting in sitting in the case. As the motherboard was sitting in the case, maybe something was shorting out or something. I took every component off of this thing. I took the motherboard out and I ran it bare bones. I plugged the CD drive in. I hooked up the monitor. So all we had was motherboard, CD drive, monitor, and the motherboard. So the 4 components there. I put in a Windows CD to start up setup. Same problem. It blue screens right at the point where it says Windows is now attempting to start or setup is now attempting to start Windows. I don't know what the problem is with that. I'm going to try my driver pack disk tomorrow, see something with the mass storage device driver could be causing it. If it's not that, then I don't know, flash the BIOS. I have no idea. I'm going to probably end up getting a new motherboard unless I have a revelation or somebody tells me something I don't know. Okay, that was that one. Yeah, I see Terry in the chat room. Knoppix works, so how can it be a bad board? Here's the thing. I could run Knoppix from a CD, and I can access the hard drive from that Knoppix CD. I just cannot get Windows to install on any drive. So I don't know what it is. Knoppix works from a live CD, and it's able to pull files off of the hard drive, but I can't load Windows onto a hard drive. So it's probably a SATA driver in Windows, or it's probably a SATA driver, maybe corrupted, or maybe it's something in the BIOS, or a bad actual SATA port for the attached to the motherboard. It could be the SATA controller. It could be a bad SATA controller on the motherboard. Okay, guys, I'm reading the chat room here. I want to see what we're doing. Try a different power brick. I could try that, Mitch. I'm using the one it came with, but I didn't try a different power brick yet. Try Hardware Diagnostic Ultra X or PC Doctor just to see. I'm going to copy that out of there. I want to make a note of that. Thanks for that, Prune. And I'm just sorry, guys, who are listening to the audio. I'm just reading the chat room here. I got to figure this problem out. Okay, Help Tech Online says drop a temp in a temp controller. You think it's overheating, but it happens at the exact same spot. It's not random enough, I don't think, to be overheat. Mitch said he has an Acer with leaky capacitors. All the capacitors look fine. It only happens in that one spot. Tommy, I'm not even up to Service Pack 3, though. IDE to SATA converter, something like that. All right, good suggestions, guys. I'm going to save a copy of the chat room and go through it at the end, so you can keep throwing your suggestions in there. I can't necessarily read them right now, but I will read them when I'm done. Thanks for all your tips. Then we go to the next computer I had, and we'll play a couple messages. I finally had a computer, got XP Antivirus 2008, and we're finally, not that I finally had a computer that XP Virus 2008, I'll tell you what I finally had in a second. So I'm running my normal cleanup steps on this computer. It's going well. So we load up Super Anti-Spyware as the final step, and one of the final steps, and we're running it. All of a sudden, as we're running Super Anti-Spyware, we get a blue screen of death. The IRQ is not less than equal 1. Then all of a sudden, Windows reboots itself, and you see the little Windows scrolling bar, like the Windows starting up and the Windows scrolling bar, and then a blue screen of death again. But it's another blue screen of death, a different one. And then it says Windows is restarting, restarts again. You see the Windows load screen and a little blue bar scrolling across, and we get a blue screen of death, and it's a different